and he is from Chirembalangu, a primary care community for patients who live with chronic diseases. And this morning, we are touching on cervical cancer. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning.
Doctor, this morning we're touching on cervical cancer. So I would, we're touching on cervical cancer. So I'd love it if you could just maybe start off by describing exactly what it is and as opposed to other cancers that people may know of. And then we break it down to symptoms and how to get screened and also how to treat and take care of someone who does have cervical cancer in no particular order.
Cervical cancer, the cancer of the cervix, and the cervix is the lower part of the uterus, connects the uterus to the vagina. So kazhinji vanhu vanoziva nekuti muromo wechibereko. So panoperera vagina tapinda muchibereko pane opening yacho inenge yakatenderedzwa neinonzi cervix. And chinozoitika pakensa yemuromo wechibereko inyaya yekuti muromo wechibereko unenge wainfectwa neHPV virus, which is the most common type of infection inokonzeresa cancer after munhu ambogara neHPV infection kwemakore akawanda. So kazhinji kacho HPV ine matype akawanda evirus raunogona kuinfectwa naro, asi ine two matype eHPV virus, especially number 8, 16 ne18 ndo anowanzokonzeresa cancer muromo wechibereko. So chinozoita kuti munhu aite cancer yemuromo wechibereko, cancer yecervix, inyaya yenguva yaunenge watora une infection yeHPV. So that's why kazhinji ma-risk factors kana kuti zvinhu zvinogona kuita kuti uve more likely kuita cancer yecervix is nguva yawatora infection yeHPV. Kazhinji zvichienderana nekuti wakatanga kuita zvepabonde rini. So we see it as the major risk factor to see. Usually, the earlier you start being sexually active, you are most likely to be infected by HPV. In time yaunotora uine HPV inozoita kuti macells ecervix azoita kurosa. So muno muZimbabwe kazhinji pane manumbers aripo ne-statistics dziri information of cervical cancer dzinoratidza kuti average women in Zimbabwe start having intercourse around 20 years and 20 years. But mostly we see kuti cervical cancer inozoitika vasikana, especially if they had early sex contact inotengera pa15 years. So ukakurumidza kuita zvepabonde kana kurumidza kusangana neHPV virus unorarama nayo iri infecting the cervix. Zvimwe zvakaita sekusmoka, we see kuti women who smoke HPV virus ikainfecta cervix inononoka kupera compared to someone anenge asingasmoke. So that's why smoking chinyanya is a huge risk kuti uzoita cancer kana wamboita infection yeHPV. Also, even chero wakanonoka kuita zvepabonde unogona kunge une mapartners akawanda sexually, and that's zvinotoincreasawo chance yako yekusangana neHPV virus, because most people by the time you have your first sex contact or first sexual activity ndopaunobva wasangana neHPV. So kana uine vanhu vakawanda unorara navo zvinogona kutowa chance iyoyo. Yeah.
And also, Doctor, I think as you talking to us about cervical cancer, to just remind you can and please do send questions on the WhatsApp platform. That's on 0772 162 651. And Doctor's going to take a chance to answer as many questions as he can after we go through these particular points.
So next on the list, primary, check cancer is STI. So some sexually transmitted infections like SSI, herpes, chlamydia, gonorrhea can increase the risk ya kuita cervical cancer because these STIs damage part cells yacho and anogona kuinfecta particularly yakareba damage cells epacervix anenge ane HPV infection. Izvo zvinhu if you've got a weak immune system, especially in people who live with HIV, it increases the risk of cervical cancer. In fact, we encourage vakadzi vakatwanda vane HIV to get screened more frequently about with cervical cancer because HIV will weaken the immune system. So when it comes to preventing cervical cancer, the good thing with cervical cancer is it's one of those cancers inotipa ma-lesions kana kuti zvinhu zvinoratidza kuti ma-cells epacervix akuda kuchinja kuita cancer. So zvasiyana nemamwe makenza ekuti anenge aine masigns acho but tinogona kusaona kuti pati yakuda kuita cancer but cervix inoratidza kuti ma-cells acho anogona kuchinja kuita cancer nemamwe ma-stages anenge. So the most important test inoitwa inogona kutiratidza about cervix kuti are you going to get cancer here kana kuti kwete is a screening test. So this is what we wanted to talk about mostly because here inobatsira kubata cervical cancer isati yatanga because kana vhiri yake yako ikabuda iri positive zvinogona kureva kuti haisi cancer asi kazhinji kacho inenge iri sign yekuti chibereko maakuda kutonga. So kutangira pamakore 25 vakadzi vakawanda vanofanira kuitwa test yenge especially kana iine marisk factors atanga tichimbotaura. Okay. So with VIAC is a very simple test inoitwa kuona kuti vanadokta panotinga government hospital or clinics and VIAC chinoitika vanokurasa pamubhedha ende vanoisa chinonzi speculum chinobatsira kuvhura kuti chione cervix ende voisa solution inenge ine acidic acid kana kuti inenge iri low percentage. So pavanoisa vinegar pamuromo wako wechibereko vinegar iyoyo inoita kuti kana paine paroda kuchinja kuita cancer inobva yaita kuti paite white. So white iyoyo inobva yatoratidza mutavi yacho kuti muromo wechibereko unobva kuita cancer. Ndizvo zvinobva zvatibatsira kuti tobva tazoenda panext step yekuedza kutobvisa pati yacho iyoyo or kuitwa even matest anenge achitakubatsira kuti tione kuti ingabviswa sei pati yacho kuita cancer. So after VIAC iprocedure haimborwadzi and haitombotore nguva yakareba mazato acho unobva watongomawana ipapo ipapo and kana ikabuda iri positive kazhinji panowanzo kushandiswa tumwa methods ekuisa pati yacho ida kuchinja kuita cancer sedza vanopisa nelaser emagnetic so that pati yacho inobva yadestroyika or vanogona kuisa lower temperature yacho then pobreaka kubvisa pati ida kuchinja kuita cancer. Over time unozoramba zvakare kuitwa mamwe mascreening but VIAC we aid vakadzi vakawanda kutangira pa25 years kuti vascreen.
I think we can start taking questions now.
Yeah.
0772162651. We do have Dr. Alibu, and we are talking about cervical cancer. And like we did say, if you've got questions, please do ask him. He is in studio, and I will help to get them through for you. I'll try and pick one of the first. Says Muno, when should you start testing for cervical cancer? At what age? I can imagine there's an age that's too young to be tampering with the cervix altogether.
Uh, there is now a vaccine that I can introduce for which protects against HPV. So we started in adolescents, like most of the changes of girls are not taken up with 15 that are like sexually active. So if vaccine kunyasana kuti vazviprotecte against infection yavanogona kuzoita nehpv. Kana usina kubaiwa HPV vaccine because rakangointroduced muna 2018, so dzangova 6 years bedzi, unogona kuitwa pia kana titangira pa 25 years mukadzosenta aspiri.
Can cervical cancer cause barrenness? Is the other question.
Well, usually we get cervical cancer munhu atova menopause ukazhinji kacho zvichienderana nekuti waane nguva yakareba sei uine infection yehpv. Asi iko kutobara mwana kutoita labor nekuita vana vakati wandei ndoo zvinogona kuesa cervical cancer, but iyo cancer haikonzere kuti utadze kuita mwana unless ukaiita uchiri pamazuva ako ekuteera uchienda kumenstrual period ako cervical cancer yepamuromo wechibereko zvinotakure mwana zviri normal sezvavanga vagara vachiita, but inenge ichifanira kuzoonekwa kana specialist kainawo kuti azoona kuti vakurape sei, asi iyo cancer zvatoza haitadzise kuti iite mwana.
Okay, if we are to then say kuti paunono test for cervical cancer, if you manage to rid of it, can it reoccur? Is the next question.
After yes. Well, that's why you have to keep getting my screening test, because it can reoccur one better positive. So you will need to kuramba uchitwa ABI after one data positive.
Okay, are there any signs or symptoms apart before one gets screened for cervical cancer?
So in case you didn't get screened, then uzongona cancer, that's when we get my signs actually cervical cancer. So vyaki inoitwa kuti tidzivirire kuti munhu asaite cancer, asi ikazoitika cancer you usually get discharge inenge yakasangana neropa ichinhuwa, and izvo zvinoonetwa kuti urize weight yakawanda and uchizopedzisira kana wakutonzwa pain dzinenge dzakaita semusana nepasi peguru, zvichienda nekuti cancer yacho inenge yagaramba yakareba sei or yaspeda kumaparts api ebody. But generally cancer masymptoms ayo kuona discharge yevagina inonhuwa, kuchinja kwecycle yako, kuti get heavy flows anenge achingosiyana siyana, and lose weight nokwatinozwa kuti.
Got another interesting one here, but before that, if you're just joining us, it is a Star FM, The Morning Galaxy, and we are talking about wellness this morning, talking to Dr. Alibu about cervical cancer. Taking in questions at this particular point, you can send us your questions on 0772 162 651. Interesting, this one says, Erica, my only question as a man would be, does unprotected sex with someone with cervical cancer affect a man? Interesting. Are there any risks to having?
Well, I think
when
woman actually cancer yacho hapana, we are actually scared kuti unogona kutokukwadza otobvira, but cancer, remember that HPV virus is the most ratitori muwarika kuti muchiwana munhu anenge ari even chero asina masaini ecervical. So the most worrying, I think, question yaari kuda kunyatsobvunza ndeyekuti iye angazviprotecta sei against getting iyo cervical cancer, yet HPV ndo yaanofanira kuzviprotecta kuti asaite sei. So even in men as well, HPV inotokonzeresawo mamwe macancers akadai even sepenile cancer, pane anal cancers nemamwe macancers emuromo. All those cancers anokonzereswa neHPV virus. So whether you got it sexually from someone with cervical cancer or who doesn't have cervical cancer, your risk is. So actually, to simplify for you, anofana lower my sexual partners, I think, to reduce smoking, because mostly people have found out to mention HPV virus, and the best you can do is to lower risk for you to which is the change that
Taking up the next question. Hi, doctor. A person who's tested positive for HSV1 plus 21 GG, the HSV2 1G, animal dangers happy. Is that not herpes?
I think it's another story on its own. I think
it doesn't relate to.
Doesn't relate. But now with cervical cancer, cervical cancer now, your herpes then increase the risk of cervical cancer. So if you get HSV virus like one, especially the second one, which is sexually transmitted, your risk of cervical cancer, because the herpes damages your cells depending on which inenge iri papi. Usually the herpes infections anenge ari pavulva, ende iwaya anozogona kuita maronda kwenguva yakareba.
Also, this other question says, hello, Dr. Kochi chinokonzera kuita mapundu panhengo muri mukati. Is this also a sign of cervical cancer? I can imagine they're speaking of inside the vagina.
Yes.
That you've got pimples.
Itori HPV, because HPV virus inokonzeresa mapundu akadaro anonzi mapolyps. Mamwe acho ndo inenge iri mumhopo. Kungoti matype acho eHPV akasiyana siyana. So HPV virus virus inokonzera mumhopo, but kune matype akawanda atiri kunyanyotsaura anoinfecta the cervix, but some other HPV infections anoinfecta.
We must take this one more time, Doctor. I do know that we started running down with this. You did touch on this, but what is HPV virus, so that maybe we can try tackle it from there before it goes to the extremes of cancer? And just how does one get HPV virus or not get it if we are looking at about 50 strains of this virus? Crazy.
HPV virus virus. So yes, so it's the one which causes papillomas, which are growth skin surface.
I've got a question here. Sorry, I must cut you off so that we move at one wavelength as a people. As Dr. Marukoti, HPV, doctors, what you saying just before there are people in the street?
Yeah, so in types are Kawanda. Yes. Yes. So like Pandatanga, I think that you go to the type here is cervical cancer. But tabato kuti HPV virus ine mamwewo strains ayo, because you see type 1 HPV, type 16, type 18, type 35 anokonzeresa cancer yechimuromo wechibereko type 16 ne18. Asiwo ukaitawo infection umwewo kana even pamaoko muvagina unogona kuinfectwa neHPV imwewo type yakaita setype 53 setype 13. I'm sorry, it's that complicated.
Actually, just hold on and not let my character flinch on this conversation.
No, it's okay. It's okay. You can.
My question that I think we need on another day to have you then touch on how HPV. It's full. Yeah.
Now the audience
It is cervical cancer, and to not spread this now. Someone says, please can you ask doctor for me if bleeding during urination is also a sign of cervical cancer, or to look out for something like that?
It could be a sign, but they definitely need to see a doctor. So
How about if your service is always low and related, but dilated or related?
Yeah, especially in women, we have given birth multiple times. Usually, over 5 times you get your cervix, it will be lower and always dilated. Definitely, the risk of it cervical cancer is very high, and those ones you get they are done and one gyna or personal doctor. Yeah.
I'm laughing, doctor, because I don't know if this question is serious. Let me just read this question. Like I said, I'm not trying to get into this question myself. Hello, doctor. Kana ukasangana nemurume ane nhengo isinganyatsomira zvakasimba pane zvazvingakonzeresa. I think I don't know. I'm not yeah, doctor obviously.
Yatopera question.
Ndozvandatora ndikati pamwe kuti ndimuti hazvikuenderana I don't know much.
Yeah.
So let me ask you.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, does it pimples on the external part of your vagina, could this also be a sign of having cancer itself, not HPV, because has kupera ma pimples eye?
Pimples asingaperi
Mm. Because
yes. Yeah, but anofanira kunotariswa utonoscreenwa. We do a screening test for HPV oonekwa mastrains anenge aripo votora masamples, but definitely anenge achitofanira kutoona chiremba kuti azikanonzi kuti mapimples acho anokwanisa kubva. So the same way yavanobvisa ma-lesions epacervix, ndo the same nzira yavanobvisa kuti ma-lesions e-HPV anywhere else in the body. So ma-pimples vanokwanisa kufrizwa or kupiswa nemagetsi. That's how we treat ma-HPV growth. Yeah, because yeah.
But when you go for this screening, some of the machines that they use, and the LED, they may cause a different type of cancer in your system. How far true is that?
So I think there is a growing worry about the type of light which is used when we are doing AI. So the light emitting diode type of light, either yakasiyana nema-fluorescent light or bulbs. So, but I don't think there is much research yachanyatsobuda about that, but definitely it shows how that increases cancer.
And then, doctor, we're going to take this last question. I mean, as we would advise women to go for screening, someone says, are there screening tests that you can do for yourself at home?
Unfortunately, we have to go to a clinic to so that they do the screening test.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I do know that once in a while we do get bumped into campaigns, or we hear of campaigns or outreaches, rather, to put it that way, where women can get tested for cervical cancer for free. But we do have this question, says Erica, if you could please ask the doctor, so, as in, I guess they mean screening by Kucheko.
Hospitals, clinic, hospital, and various other centers, government centers offer free VX services as per campaigns some of the times. But I think at other clinic they may charge you $3 to $5. Mm-hmm. Depend if it's private or government, but mostly they can provide you if you've got symptoms.
Absolutely lovely, doctor. Thank you so much for taking out this time to talk to us today about cervical cancer. And I'm hoping that for those of us listening today, it's been quite edifying, and we must go get screened so that we can at least try to curb it quick. Doctor, how do you get in touch with you?
I follow Chamber on Facebook, where we provide this about post leaflet on the page about cancer and breast cancer as well, and how you can screen breast cancer.
Absolutely lovely, doctor. Please go ahead and have yourself an amazing Wednesday altogether. Catch up with you next time. Well, speaking there to Dr. Alibu, and today we were touching on cervical cancer. Hopefully, you catch up with him next time. and hoping that you got the nuggets that you need to get and you get screened. Listen, you've been lovely to me since 9 o'clock on the morning galaxy, and allow me to hold forth with you throughout to midday. My name is Erica Ndoro. We catch up across all social media platforms, and I'll catch up with you on a Friday morning. Between now and then, please stay well and do not touch that dial. It always happens at StarFM_ZW. Across all social media platforms, you get in touch with me at Erica Ndoro. Good day.